Hey guys, so today we will be learning about the setup tag in karate. This tag is introduced in version karate 1.3, and basically the main idea had been it has to use this tag for the dynamic data configurations. Especially means when you have test data setup configurations at a runtime, and especially when you want to set up your test data that requires more than one line of lines of code in the feature file. At that moment, this setup tags comes really handy. So let's just start that how can we take advantage or take a use of this tag in karate for our testing. Yeah. So we will have, so first of all, I have this test data here. It's a JSON array. There are four JSON objects containing data like names, age, and sex for all these names. And let's run this file at the runtime, and dynamically the setup tag will read all the JSON objects inside this array and run the script for you, and it will iterate through all the JSON objects and run your script for all the JSON objects present inside JSON array. So yeah, let's start and see how can we do it. So I'll feature this setup tag feature, and we'll have a setup tag here, and we'll have a scenario. We have to use write our test data configuration inside below the scenario, and have to use setup tag so that karate will understand that yes, these lines of code I'll have to it's a test data setup format. So yeah, we will be reading the test. We'll set the test data path here. We will have a scenario outline, uh, because we dynamically we have different test data inside the JSON array, and for all those test data or JSON objects we want to run this script. Let's give this a name. Let's set a tag. Okay, and then we'll simply try to read all those JSON objects, and we'll print all those test data in our character report. So yeah, I simply print this. So here we have this setup method under this karate object, and we will pass the variable name here, so that so we'll have this karate.setup method, and we will pass the variable name, so that this just a second, yes, it will read this JSON array from here, and it will count the number of JSON objects present here, and for all the JSON objects it will run the lines of code, or whatever lines of code you put here, your script here, and it will execute for all of the JSON objects here. So I'm simply printing a row here. For each of the row present in the JSON array, it will print it right here. So let's run this and see how it works. I think we have okay. The test data path is somewhere by mistaken here. So let's retry to run this. So yeah, you can see it here. It's actually printing all the JSON objects here, whatever I have, right? See, we can check the reports as well. See, so for what all the JSON objects, it has iterated all the JSON objects one by one, and it's printing all the data here, right? It becomes it's dynamically reading all the JSON data here, and it is running this script for all these things. Okay, so what we can do, we can actually dynamically set our test case name here. So you can see it here, all the test case name is same here. So but the test side is different. So how can we dynamically configure our test data name as per the test data is here? So we can actually go by the name, age, or anything. I can pick that uniquely identify the JSON object, and set and configure our test case name here. So let's see here, let's set up tag, and here what we can do, set up. So I want to pick the name of each of the JSON object here, and prepare my test case name at the runtime. So we can do it dollar here and see it's a name. So what we will do, it will pick the first JSON object here. It will search for the name key in the JSON object here, and accordingly it will prepare the test case name at the runtime. So let's try that. So actually this name is it's getting runtime, it's reading that, and see in the report as well. So you can see learn setup tag for Jack, John, name, Nicole. So you can actually differentiate now for which name of this test case is there, and this test case is there for the Jack, this test case for Nicole. So accordingly runtime we can do it. Okay, one more thing we can do. So now I want to filter some data out of it, and then run my test script for those test data. So how can we do it? Let's do it in here. Because at the setup tag is mainly because when you have to set up your test data that requires more than one line of code. For example, you hit an API, and the response out from that API, you want to filter some data, and then out of that response you want to prepare your test data. So in one line of it won't be that prepare your test data. It can require more than one line, means writing a line for hitting that API, and then fetching the response, and then filtering out your required data, and then final your test data get prepared. So at that time the setup tag will you can use it to its maximum potential, and for that purpose only this setup tag has been introduced in this new Karate version. So we can write here, we can define our condition here for the filter here. So we can write a simple function, and we can write here that return, x dot age is greater than 26. So I'm putting a condition here that give me the data here where the age is greater than 26. So if we see, we will have three test JSON objects here. So ideally, if you apply a filter on this JSON array, ideally I should get three JSON objects out of it. So let's do this. JSON data. I can apply this condition, and now I'll use this variable because I have to use the filter data here, not the entire. I don't have to run my script for the entire JSON array. I need to run my test script for the certain test JSON objects where the JSON objects meet some my filter criteria. Fine, I'll use this variable now. So ideally it should run for three JSON objects. So let's see. See, it is running for all the three this one JSON objects only. See, age 35, age 28, and age 30. Let's see in the report as well. Fine. So 28, 30, 35. So our filter is working fine. In the similar way fashion, we can apply this filter in here as well. This examples part here where we will use karate filter method to filter out the data out of the JSON objects. We won't be needing the lines of code here, and we can directly write this here as well. So we will put this JSON data here, and then we will apply filter. Now we will say that give me the data where x is greater than 26. Now we don't need these two lines of code. We'll comment it out, and we'll see if that works or not. See, it's filtered out the data, and where the age is greater than 26, and printed as the result. Same way. That's working fine. There is one more thing, that is karate setup once. If you this karate setup once is there, what it will do, that karate setup once here, it reads the data for us for a single time, and it saves that data into its cache, and then out in that cache only it will filter, it will do all its operations. If we don't apply the filter, from the cache only it will read the JSON data and will run the test scripts. If you apply the filter, it will use the cache only for all the operations here. It won't go again and again to this JSON file and read your data. So it will make your scripts a little faster if you have a high number of test data inside your JSON file. For the few numbers of files like this, it won't make much difference, but you have a huge number of files, just definitely you can use it. Also, if you are using this setup scenario for the multiple scenario inside it, if there are multiple scenarios here, then better you should use this karate setup once, because again and again it won't go to JSON file and do your run your scripts. Better you use setup once only, and it will read the JSON file once, and it will do your all operations for the multiple scenarios if you are writing here in the feature file. Okay, let's check this one if it's working fine or not, the setup once. Yeah, so it's actually worked. Check the report here. We have the same response. It's running fine, pending the response. So that's how we learned here how we can use the setup tag inside our feature file whenever we have dynamic test data configurations and preparations. If you want to apply some filter as well, we can apply our filter on our test data and run our scripts for those filter test data. Thank you guys, and take care. And if you learned something and understood something new about this karate tag, just give a thumbs up, like button, and give your comments to your views on this tag. If you like something, if you like learn something, please do mention it in your comments. And yeah, just like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be uploading more technical videos related to the testing. Thanks all.